Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I cannot believe we're almost in April. We're still doing our weekly videos. I don't have a whole lot to pass along this week, so this one will be quite a bit shorter. Anyway, if I don't seem like myself, my grandmother's 92, almost 93, and I've been going, that's the reason I went back to Atlanta recently, is to visit them and my grandparents. My grandfather's almost 96. He's a retired police officer and still in good shape for the most part to be 96. But anyway, I found out some really bad news about my grandmother today, and it's looking like I'll be going back down for a funeral. So we might not be having an update next weekend. If we don't, that's why. So if you can, keep me in your prayers, keep my family in your prayers. We're definitely going through a lot. So my heart's not quite in the video today. But we're going to do the best we can. We're going to move forward. Life don't stop, so we got to move forward. I definitely, if you're new to my channel, so basically what we're doing is I'm just a hillbilly that's been blessed. I've traveled all over the world quite a bit. My last job was a regional manager for a company, for a Fortune 500 company. I traveled extensively in Mexico, United States, all over. I live in Alaska now. I lost my job due to COVID then, which I got another job recently, but I actually took a year off, had a lot of fun. Anyway, to make a little extra money, I was flying back down the lower 48, buying vehicles and driving them back up here to Alaska. So I did a lot of this through this whole COVID mess, so I've got some pretty good experience, hands-on experience on driving up through the COVID-19 requirements in Canada. So basically this channel is just about that, sharing that information. I need to be doing some more Mexico videos. I have a lot of great tips for Mexico as well. My wife's a flight attendant. I'm in management for the same airline she works for here in Alaska, and I'm also a pilot, and hopefully one day we'll go back to pursuing doing that professionally. I do have my commercial pilot's license, but so anyway, if you want, how about give us a subscribe? I would love to hear your comments of what you want. I'm doing this trying to help everybody. Give a thumbs up. I know I keep threatening and keep saying that I'm going to buy some decent video equipment, which that hasn't happened yet, but I truly am. But basically what we're doing right now is we're doing weekly updates, and like I said, I may miss next week. It depends on my grandmother's condition. Anyway, but basically I'm doing weekly updates. So anytime I'm trying to keep, people are reaching out to me when they're coming across the border, and I haven't heard from anyone. I haven't heard from that many people this week. Hadn't heard from anybody that's crossed this week. But they're calling me or they're emailing me, and they're keeping up with me, and they're giving me their way of what went on coming through. So I've got a good handle on it of how things are going right now. So we're just trying to make it one place that you can come to every week, see a video, and hear the updates of how Canada's treating us poor Americans. But anyhow, so how about giving me a thumbs up? So I'm still learning YouTube. I love YouTube. It's so amazing. I love it watching it myself. And then I'll see other people's videos and I'm like, man, I am just so hillbillied up with my videos. But anyway, if you do like it, give me a thumbs up, because what that does is make it more shareable to other people that might be moving up to Alaska as well and driving through Canada, or vice versa, going back down to lower 48. But be critical, be harsh on me. I want to know, I'm doing this so I can help everyone. My email address is bigskyblessing@gmail.com, and I'll go over that again at the end. Or you can comment in the section. I try to comment on everybody's comment, but I love personal emails. So just shoot me an email. I want to know what I can do to make this channel better. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Tell me, be blunt with me. I like that. Just so I'm going to go over I'll go over the emails that I did receive throughout the week. And then we'll just go. So I have had a lot of people asking repeating questions, and I keep forgetting that not everyone's tuning in every single week. So I am going to cover some things at the end, and so it might be redundant for some of you to hear the same stuff over and over and over, and that's not what I want to do. But I will repeat some of it for some people that are just tuning in for the first time. So I had very few emails this week. One of them I keep hearing from Mr. Mark Dunn. He sounds like a really cool guy in Utah. That him and his wife are going to come up to Alaska for some vacation. If that's something you're looking at doing, let me know. I'll be happy to. I love helping people. So, and I work for a cool airline here in the state of Alaska that flies to a lot of these places, but I'm not promoting them, not even bringing their name up, and it ain't that I'm ashamed of them. They're excellent. I just started working for them a couple weeks ago, and I absolutely love it. They're a great company. But Mark says, so if you need any travel advice, please let me know. Mark says, and I figure it's easier just to respond on this, and you might have the same thing. He says he's looking at flying from Salt Lake City to Anchorage, driving to Talkeetna, and do some flights over to Denali. So I was telling Mark, so there's a lot of cool operators. I honestly you can't go wrong with any of them. Next time I'll look up the name of the one that I have met the owner of, but they're all good. In order to be a pilot to fly over those glaciers in Denali, number one, you're going to have an airplane with a lot of horsepower. It's going to be a safe airplane. A lot of them are operating turbine-powered airplanes, which are jet engines with a propeller, basically. You're going to have the pilot's going to have several thousand hours. Someone like me with 700 hours and a commercial license is not going to go over there and get a job hauling people to Denali and landing on glaciers. It's going to be somebody with a lot more experience than me. I'd be happy to take anyone flying around here around the Connect and stuff in like a little 4-seater airplane, but those guys are sharp pilots. You don't just walk into that job. You have to earn it. So it's super safe. You never hear about them going down over there. So if you want to go see Denali and land on the glacier, I recommend doing that in any of those outfits in Talkeetna. They're all good. Every one of them are good, I'm sure. He says that after that, he wants to drive the Kenai Peninsula. The Kenai Peninsula is beautiful. It's absolutely amazingly beautiful. And he says he's looking at doing the Katmai, I can never pronounce that right, Peninsula. He says he don't want to fish. He just wants to do some bear viewing and see some glaciers. So you got Portage Glacier coming down close to, I think it's close to Whittier. You can see, he'd be able to see some glaciers up in Denali. We got the Knik Glacier here in, we got Knik Glacier here in Palmer. There's a Matanuska Glacier not too far from here you can walk out to. When you get down the Kenai, there's a glacier, and I can't think of the name of it, but it's very close to Seward. I've walked and done it. There is an outfit down there called Smoky Bay or Smoky Bear. I'm pretty sure it's Smoky Bay. I'll look it up. But if you just put Smoky Bay, Google Smoky Bay, Homer, Alaska, it'll come up. They are really good. I know a lot of pilots that know the owners. I know a lot of people that know the people, and they're a really safe outfit. You don't hear about any issues coming from them. And they will fly you out, land you on a beach, and show you all kind of bear. That's what I highly recommend. If you want to do something fun. So he asked me, why do I like Homer better than Seward? It's just a personal preference. Number one, I love Kenai, and I've got a friend that lives in Kenai, and I just love going there. So I like that area. I just love I love the Kenai area. That whole area is just beautiful to me. And Homer to me is prettier than Seward. Seward just seems so industrialized, and it reminds me of some little port city in Massachusetts or something. Not knocking Massachusetts, but that's what it reminds me of. Seward just don't attract me. I mean, it's okay. I like going there. I've taken my mom and my dad there. My wife and I have been there. It's cool. I'd go back. It's great. I like Homer better. Would I want to live in Homer? No, I wouldn't. But I would love to live an hour from Homer. So Homer's a neat place to visit. You got to go to I can't think of the name of the bar, but there's a bar there. You can at least have one beer, but everybody sticks $1 up. It's really cool. So there's like all these $1 bills in there, and you get to sign your dollar bill, and you get to stick it on the wall. Really cool place. But I do recommend that Smoky Bay to see all the things he wants to see. That Smoky Bay, it's an airplane flight. It's in a safe airplane with a safe pilot, and you're going to get to see a lot of cool stuff that you wouldn't get to see any other way. Listen, I'm going to tell you, I was talking to a guy at work. I lived in Montana the last 7 years. Well, I lived here for the last year. Prior to that, I lived in Montana 7 years. And I lived in San Diego for 6 months of that 7 years. But other than that, I lived in Montana. But I was talking to a guy at work just Friday about the same thing. I asked him if he missed Montana, and we both do. If you just stick with just the road system here in Alaska, you're missing out. You really are. You need to get out in an airplane, get out in a boat, and go see real Alaska. If you stick to just an airplane, I mean, everything within 5 minutes of my house you have in the lower 48, Home Depot, you name it. So it really pays to get out with one of these outfitters and go see real Alaska. If you're already spending thousands to come up here and you dream of coming to see Alaska, don't just stick to the rental car. That's my advice to you. All right, moving forward, let's just go over the entry requirements. So I heard from another, let me finish the emails real quick. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. So Mary says she found me on YouTube, has family in Fairbanks, was thinking of driving up this June. And she said, you said that if you're moving, you have to be moving her there. So we're going to go over the entry requirements. I'm going to hit that right now. So just to confirm, and I'm telling you, they are not letting people through. I've had this question. I had another state trooper reach out to me in Kentucky, and he's moving up here, probably going to move up here to be an Alaska state trooper. And he's asking, can his brother, who's also a state trooper, can his brother ride with him in the U-Haul to help him move up here? Same thing I ran into with my mom back in September or August, whatever it was, we came up here. And the answer is flat no. And I ran into this question last week, and I said it on last week's video, and I'm going to keep hounding it in. they're getting stricter and stricter. They're not letting us. They're not letting it slide. I got really lucky when they let it slide with my mom. I would not rely on that if I were you, because a lot has changed since then. In fact, we had a lady from Florida reach out to them, and they flat told her nope. And see, when I called them, oh yeah, if it's immediate family, they can come. But all that's changed a lot. So just to go over it, in order to get into Canada as a U.S. citizen, to drive up here, and I'm going to cover two things at once here. A lot of people are asking about this Arrive Canada app. If you Google it up, it's going to tell you to download the Arrive Canada app. You don't need it. We fall under a really weird loophole to get to Alaska. So you won't need the app. So trash the app, because it's going to ask you in the app, where do you plan to quarantine? You don't have to quarantine, okay? Like I said, we fall under this weird loophole, thankfully. So to come to Alaska or to the lower 48 from Alaska, one or the other. So let's say we're going to Alaska. I have to prove Alaska as my primary residence. I'm going to my primary residence. Whatever you do, do not tell me you have a summer home in Arizona. I'm going home. I've been in the lower 48. I'm going home. Keep it simple. If you're going to your primary, if you can prove that Alaska is your primary residence, they will let you through. For people that are moving, so let's say Christina and I wanted to move back to the lower 48, we would have to prove what we did with our house here. Whether if we're renting, we have to prove that we got out of the lease. We have to have documentation for that. If we're not renting, we have to prove that we're selling the house or it's sold. And we have to prove where we're moving to. And we have to have something from our employer. Just for the hell of moving, they won't even let you do it. It has to be work related. I'm not in for the government controlling everything. God knows we're heading that way in this country too. But God, Canada's lost their mind when it comes to that as far as the government. But anyway, they want to know all that. That's what I'm hearing. So make sure you have your ducks in a row. I'm going to say it like I've said it last video. 60% of the people are getting turned around at the border. So only 40% are getting through. Make sure you have your documentation. Make sure you have your story solid. And so COVID testing. They are requiring a COVID test to be done 72 hours prior to arrival into Canada. I had the question from another gentleman that sent me an email asking, do you have to wait for the paper copy? And the answer is no, because the test is taking 48 to 72 hours almost. So what a lot of people are doing that I'm hearing from is they're getting it done. Some of them are getting it done in their hometown, and they're just making sure they're at the border within 72 hours and then going across. And they're going to give you another COVID test when you go across the border. These people lost their mind with this whole COVID thing, in my opinion. I mean, everybody views COVID totally different. Me, I know it's real, but I'll just be quite blunt with you. I think it's blown up more than it really is. But something with a 99% survival rate, people are losing their mind over. But anyhow, I will go ahead and say the rumor that I have heard. I don't know that it's true. I will not tell you anything I don't know to be fact without telling you I don't know if it's fact or not. I heard they will require a vaccine to cross the Canadian border by June or July. That is 100% hearsay. I heard that from two people that wrote me emails. One guy talked on the phone, one guy was on an email, that they had heard it. Now, where they heard it, I have no idea. It could be totally baloney. So I'm just putting that out there. As of right now, nothing's been mentioned by the government about that. So it's 100% hearsay. So just to reiterate, it don't matter, people traveling along. So for example, technically, my wife can come with me. Let's say my wife and I are moving to the lower 48. Her and I can prove that we're married. We can prove we together had a house here. We are moving to our new home in the lower 48. If that was the case, we're not, but I'm giving an example. And we can travel together. However, if my dad wants to fly up here and help us load stuff up and ride in the U-Haul with me, that ain't going to work. They won't let my dad through. They'll make him fly home. So bringing people along is not possible unless they live with you, unless you help pay for them, and unless you lay up in bed with them every night, or unless they're your kids and they live with you, they ain't letting you through. That's probably the best way to make it simple. That is pretty well all I have. I am going to put in the description. I said last week I would. I never did because I'm doing this on my phone, downloading it on my phone, and then going back to my computer and adding the description. I will ensure that gets done tonight. I will put videos for other tips that I have about driving up. Please just reach out to me if you have a question and you're curious about it. Shoot me an email. I am super busy lately here. It might take me a day to respond to you, but I will respond to you. I promise you, I will not ignore you. I will respond to you. I want to hear from you. And if you're coming through, please, I'm asking, please, please, please send me an email or call, send me an email. I'll give you my phone number. I like to screen those people to make sure I'm not just giving it to anybody. I want to hear from you. I want to hear about how your trip went. If you have questions, I'm here for you guys. So that's what I'm here for. Please let me know what I can do to make these videos better. Like I said, if I'm a little off today, it's because I had some personal issues going on with my grandmother, who's going to be better off in heaven than she is here anyway. But it's never fun to go through those type things. So anyway, that's pretty well all I have. Like I said, I didn't hear but from like 3 or 4 people this week. I'm double checking my emails. No, I don't have anything else worth sharing. I hope everybody has an awesome week. If you are coming up here, I do want to hear from you. Or if you're leaving here, I want to hear from you. I want to hear how your trip is going down. If you need any advice, and one more thing, you do not have to have a COVID test to fly into Alaska. So that's no longer a requirement. So anyway, that's good news too. I hope everybody has a great week next week, and look forward to hearing from anybody that wants to reach out to me. And I plan to be on next Sunday, but there's a good chance I won't be with all this stuff going on with my grandmother. If I'm not, that's why. I'll be on the following Sunday if that's the case. All right, hope everybody has a great week. Talk to you later. Bye.